I'm not trying to get their approval. It's my responsibility. I'm not even necessarily trying to get their buy-in. I'm trying to get their understanding.
Nobody tried to prove they were right. They put forward their points, but they were like, here's a way of looking at that. Assess it. And they were also doing it genuinely. It's like, this is what I've concluded about, say, this story. And I'm going to make a case for it, but I'd like to hear what you have to say, because maybe you can change it, you can...
And I understand as a guy that was looking for conversations, it's fortunate that I fell upon School of Life and Jordan Peterson conversations with you, as opposed to that community, because both of them would have given me the same sort of influence, the same kind of satisfaction, but long-term would have given me incredibly different outcomes.
Anyway, categorize yourself not, my friend. And actually, when you do that, you're doing other people's work for them. It's about the limitations people place on you, how we internalize them. And then we perpetuate that narrative and go, when I'm this is my lane. I'm this flavor.
And so I remember it was like, I'll go with you, dude. And it's a tiny act where that sacrifice gains respect from the whole group, because that micro benefits everybody else for not having to go through it. And so when you are in a new organization, this is the operation for respect. You sacrifice yourself in a way that benefits the whole, in a way that is visible. You know,
it's like, I think I get up in the morning and there's like this narrow path, and on either side it's just like whoosh, down to no productivity, nothing useful in life. And one side is drama, other people's drama.
Yeah.
And the other side is just numbing out.
Yeah.
And you got to walk this really narrow path.
So there's an intensity there, but having so much pressure and so much at stake, when it goes away, it's definitely leaves a hollow, empty space inside.
My father, his cancer went from lung to bone to brain, and I'm telling people, if my mom was out, and by the way, how hard do you think the DNI is? She's out, she's never home, she's always out there, she's always at work. You have to be there for the person.
The worst thing that could ever happen to any human being is they become civilized. It's that total accountability. Like, even when you retire, there's a mother looking at me and judging me right now, man. I was the baddest person to ever live. It doesn't go away, man. You gotta wake up, even though you retired, you never retired.
No one's capable of doing that at 20.
In order to be in the master, you have to be the idiot first.
Right.
You can't be the master without being an idiot. You can't be a master and become a master. You have to make the mistakes to become a master.
100%. You have to be a fool. If you're not a fool, you're not learning.
Hell, yeah. You have to be a fool. You have to be a fool to even think you want to reach that level.
Yeah.
You have to be of the moment in many ways to function at a high level. Is there a price? There's a price to be paid for that, because you're exposed to everything in a sense.
And you can also oversample the darkness.
That's nihilism, man. Suffering is one thing. Being aware that your suffering is kind of meaningless, that's what nihilism is. And that's what can be brought out if you study something you're not passionate about, and then it gets hard. Because you've got this double whammy of the meaninglessness plus the difficulty.
But so many of us are stuck exactly there.
You know, they don't want misogyny, they don't want abuse, they don't want all those awful things that come with it. They don't want people that have a genuine disdain for women. But traditionally, masculinity was always like having a respect for women, having a respect for your mother, having respect, being a protector and a provider.
Yes.
Everyone can get motivated for a moment. It's just like people feel motivated, but like motivation is incredibly ephemeral, right? It vanishes. And that's why creating the conditions that make failure less likely is so important, because if we can make successful actions the most likely actions, success becomes the most likely outcome.
Now, if you've ever started a business or created a product and had to wrestle with the problem of pricing, you'd become aware of just how intractable that is. Like, how do you calculate worth?
You know, I talk to all my friends that are comics, all say the same thing. Like, out of the jokes that they write, like 10 of them suck, and then one pops through. But the thing is, like, you just gotta keep cranking. Just keep trying to find whatever it is.
That was the hard part for me, was to keep going and keep trying.
Because as soon as you do that, you agree to adopt wholesale all of the views of the group. And as soon as you begin to deviate, that's seen as a lack of commitment by your side and a chink in your armor by the other side. So it doesn't allow you to be a person. It doesn't allow you to fit into the very unique shape that your life is supposed to take.
It's not about lives, but it's about livelihoods. Right. And you've got people that are relying on you to succeed and win. And again, sure, you get killed in combat. That's obviously the worst thing that can happen. But if you lose your job, or your people lose their jobs, I mean, people kill themselves all the time when they make bad business decisions. It's that much pressure.
I'm fat and I'm insecure. You have to face that in that dark room. In that dark room is who you are. But in that dark room is where you have to create another human being that walks out of that dark room to face who you are. That's the only way you're going to get over all those things.
And I now find myself as being an agnostic person and being open-minded and curious to new ideas. And it's almost a humility. Mm-hmm. I wasn't humble before in that season of my life, but now I'm like open that I could be completely wrong.
Sure.
And listening intently. And I think
it's emotional intelligence.
Because listen, our feelings are enslaved by our emotions, and our emotions are enslaved by our feelings.
And sometimes we sort of placate those emotions by drowning it in food or in booze or in gambling or sex or anything that can distract you.
Then we turn that into memories.
Yeah.
And then we become enslaved to our memories, and it never stops.
Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. Like, why didn't you do this thing that I didn't tell you to do?
Yeah, probably not deliberately, because I think a lot of people do it not on purpose.
Of course, but it's unconscious premeditated resentment.
Yeah.
The investment that you are making will be a resentment in future that you aren't aware is about to come about.
Yeah.
If I get it from people that have been there, and you get a different perspective than you're ever going to get from someone who's just pontificating or guessing, waxing poetically on the nature of man and war. It's all bullshit. Until you talk to someone who's actually been there, you don't really understand what they're saying.
You know, as my friend Derek Sivers likes to say, if change was as easy as more information, we would all be billionaires with six-packs, but we're not. Because the difficulty is getting our emotions to align with what we know is better for ourselves.
And you have to first be uncomfortable with how you feel about yourself. With that voice that a lot of us like to run away from, we all have it. We all have that voice that say, hey man, you know, you're kind of wimping out right now. You're kind of being a little punk right now. But a lot of us say, okay, that's okay. It's okay to tell these little white lies to ourselves. So we first have to face the real you.
Yo, listen, when the light is on you, when the universe put the light on you, there's nothing stronger than a person whose time has come.
Yeah.
It's all about the light, man. All of us get it. You may not think the homeless man on the corner, the blind and paralyzed guy that's begging in the cup, we all get that moment of shine. We all get it. Feelings, perform, whatever it is, we all get it.
And I thought, well, you know, if you're just standing there and you're not on fire, things are a lot better than they might be. And I know that. And I think I remember it almost all the time.
So it's like you think you're being ungrateful. So you're like, no, I've got to be grateful with this family member, this parent, whatever it may be. So I'm going to stay connected. But then every time you're around them, you come back crying, wounded, hurt, upset, whatever it may be.
Basically, you do not need to chase down the things that your local area is telling you that you need to. And this is what I think you create online. You know, the people that you consume, the people that you read, the people that you listen to, they become your new community.
Yes.
They become the new good influence that you always wanted.
But I think once you have a very clear path to getting what you want, it's like, okay, how do I remove everything that prevents me from getting it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not in a self-aggrandizing way. I am flawed too, but I'm just saying, it helps.
It is true that more dreams are destroyed by distraction than incompetence.
Like, and I get you, or you get me, and I tap. In my heart, I know that if you and I were fighting for survival, I just lost, and you'd have killed me.
And the next story I told myself was, oh, well, he has discipline, and I just don't have it.
He wasn't born with genetics. He was
dude, it took me another 10 years after that, another 10 years to figure out that this is a skill and not something you're born with.
Every day you have to do this shit. Because why? When you stop doing it, you don't just maintain it. If you stop shooting a gun, you're not gonna be a great shot if you pick a gun up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to constantly oil that motherfucking machine. The machine is this. You gotta keep challenging it every day.
It wasn't no balance. It was strict fighting, no girls. It's strict. It's too much. This. It was this. That was bad. Oh God, I can't make that happen. I got to spar and do better tomorrow. That was bad. Okay, I gotta move my head more. I got hit today. I got a black eye. Oh God, cuz gonna be mad at me if he see me do this. If he see me get hit. It was just everything was on being perfect.
The spirit of being and becoming. And it tells Moses that he now, because he's delved so deeply into something so compelling, his identity is transformed and he's become the leader who can speak truth to power.
Being on social media is different because there's this awareness that we're on there and we probably could or should be doing something else often. And I have this theory that it's the perfect addiction because it's what I would call low resolution enough that it doesn't occupy all of your mind. Like when
I think when their life is not going well and their chosen career is not going well, they concentrate on other things to distract them instead of focusing on the very thing itself. And they think that they're justified in doing that because those things are really important.
It's like we have determined that feeling bad is bad, but feeling bad is not bad. Feeling bad is a signal so that we need to change. Because if no one feels bad ever, then it means that everyone is doing what they want to do all the time, and that is not how a functioning society works. Sometimes people do stupid shit and need to know and feel bad for it.
He had all the trappings. He had everything. He's like, I like it better like this, like a backpack.
And maybe the key word there was trappings.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he somehow built all these things around him that ended up making him feel trapped.
In my career, when I manage anybody I do business with, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You made mistakes. I've made mistakes. Everybody here makes mistakes. And there's levels to mistakes.
I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, Doug, I was supposed to live that life.
When I'm not crippled from exercising earlier, I don't know. It's just it becomes your masculinity. You look at yourself, look at some of your friends and your peers, and say, "Wow, do I look like that?" I tell my wife all the time, "Do I look like?" Be honest, just be honest. I'm your husband. Do I look like that? You know, and I'm strong with dieting, watching myself because my appearance is my job now.
And if you're agreeable and nice and you're conflict avoidant, you'll push yourself too far to please the other person. And then that makes you bitter and resentful. So that's not helpful.
But to me, real stillness is I'm immovable in my spirit and immovable in my conviction. That's real stillness. I stand up for something.
I try to just enjoy what I'm doing while I'm doing it. And I don't think too much about whether or not I'm going to be able to do something forever. I just think, am I doing it now? Am I enjoying it now? Great.
There's definitely a unique value in the future is long and broad, that has a quality all of its own, that is only available to people that are young. Right? That is not nothing.
It's not because you want to go around kicking people's asses. It's because you don't want to have to kick anyone's ass. You know, people are not looking at Joe Rogan and be like, "Oh, I'm going to beat him up right now." No, they're going, "Oh, that guy, I know he trains all the time." And if someone gets in your face, they're going to know that immediately.
And if you just dismiss that, you're being a fool. There's something there. And the only way anybody figures out if there's something there is if you study it. If actually intelligent people are willing to look a little foolish and spend some time studying it.
That's where the 40% rule kicks in. Now it starts. Okay, I'm feeling pain. My mind's saying all this to me. It's saying, get out of here, run, flee. The fight or flight kicks in. Okay, we're done, we're not good enough. It starts telling you all these things. You start to believe it because the mind controls all.
But I believe style is relevant. I believe it's the morale behind the style. I think success in fighting in life is about desire and the will.
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? Is it worth dying for? That's the true greatness, is the willingness to die. So is this thing worth greatness?
One of Nietzsche's claims was that most of what passes for morality is nothing but cowardice. You know, I'd never cheat on my wife. It's like, is there anybody asking you to that you actually find attractive? Or are there dozens of people asking you to that you find attractive? It's like, well, I would never cheat. It's like, no, you just don't have the opportunity.
He says that leisure is something that you're not being compensated for by the outside world, but that's creating value. That's leisure, and that's what will bring you enjoyment. He talks about it in terms of deepening your spiritual or philosophical life, deepening your relationships, and learning things you don't need to learn.
What they don't understand is that any commitment that you make is a step in the right direction. Anything that you decide that you're going to commit yourself to, Peterson's got one of these rules where he says, commit yourself to one thing as hard as you can and see what happens, right? Like,
this happens on every mountain. So it happens on your first mountain and it happens on your second mountain. Like if you've achieved some level of success that everyone around you deems as successful enough by their standards, not yours, when you pursue the next summit, all of it begins again. The machine begins again.
And when you come to that realization, I think that's a pretty positive thing, because it takes a while to figure out that, hey, you don't have everything figured out. You're pretty stupid right now, even though you don't think so.
You don't ask for permission. As one of my good friends told me many, many years ago, it's so much easier to beg for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. And here's the piece that I add to that. Sometimes the person you're asking for permission, you just empowered them. They don't even have the power to tell you no, but they do now because you asked them. Yes, just go do the thing. Yes.
I had to really wear this layer of skin. I had to develop a really calloused skin on me to take whatever you're gonna call me, you're gonna call me. Whatever I'm gonna be, I want a geek, but whoever I am, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me for who I am, because I need to change who I'm not.
I don't survive by somebody giving me a job. You take me. Right. The most competitive system. You just take me with it and just drop me there.
Right.
Just drop me in there where there's competition.
Like a Bruce Lee move.
Yeah, that's how I flourish. I don't flourish by anybody giving me chances. Hey, y'all on my side. No, boom, put me in there. I'll show you what I can do. Boom, let me show you. I break the world to my feet.
Yeah. I didn't have any fear of anyone taking the place, because my place at that time was rom-com king. And I was sure, I was like, I'm good. I've done enough of those right now. I don't need another one of those right now. I don't want another one of those right now. If someone steps in to take the place, bravo.
Like if you're in a cage fight and you elbow someone in the face, it's not because you're a bad person.
You have to. That's your job.
That's the game we're playing.
If you don't do it, you're letting yourself down. You've got to go in and fight.
How many times have you said, once I do this, I deserve rest? Once I do this, then I'll allow myself to take a break. Rest isn't a reward. Rest is a requirement.
Yeah, but if you're somebody that goes to work every day and says like, I don't want to be at this desk, I don't want to be in this cubicle, I don't want to be in this office, there's something out there that is more for me than this, then you already have the bug. Then it just becomes, do you die with the bug or do you do something about it before you die?
Because if you had to find the one, that means you were done the moment you found that person. And that mindset creates such a fracture with reality, which is, wait a minute, you're gonna have to create and build, using your words, create and build every 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's never gonna stop.
And that requires discipline.
That's right. And that's the issue, is we focus on the exception, not the norm, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of college, started Facebook, and he famously said, young people are just smarter. He said that when he was 22. You don't hear him saying that anymore, surprisingly, right? So I think it's not too late for you to take risks.
Longevity ultimately is being able to maintain function as you age, because again, it's not the number of years, but the quality of the years. So all muscles in your body serve a function. You're training these muscles to get stronger, and you're training your balance, and these are all skills that can be learned and improved. They're all trainable. If it's trainable, it's fixable.
Which is, if you're driven by the metric,
right,
then you will find ways to drive the metric.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're driven to create authenticity and to create value and offer people something, money is the unintended byproduct of being part of something larger than yourself.
But when you do lose somebody and you know, you're by yourself, you're in the car, you're driving back, you get the news, you've already gone to the funeral, you've already done all that stuff, and you're like, what could I have done? That's a weight you don't want to carry.
I have like a intense fire inside that burns. That's what allows me to do all this crazy stuff, from triathlons to ultra running and every flavor, because it's all fun. Yeah, it hurts and yeah, it's uncomfortable, but dead people don't get to suffer, and I'm alive, you know?
And I did that by taking action. I guess the central theme of our discussion today is you can sit there and let time happen to you, or you can take action and make the choices that are going to make you live in the way you envision.
I think, you know, having my phone number is a privilege, if you ask me. So if you violate that privilege with negative nonsense and I want to shut you out, I'm changing my phone number. I don't owe you my phone number, even if you work for me. I don't owe you access to me personally. So if you don't value the access and honor the access, well, then I'll just remove the access.
And I think something people miss too is like, if you're not working out regularly now, you're practically committing to being out of shape for the rest of your life, you know, because it is something that you have to maintain daily.
You know what the biggest blessing for me has been in my entire life? Nothing came easy. Nothing.
Not having any of that.
Nothing came easy, okay? And that taught me more than anything else.
In the back of your mind, you know you're faking it, and you know that none of them really like the real you. And you get, at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this is you, but at the end of the day, you're lonely in a room of 150, 200 people because you know that none of them know you, and you haven't ever really been seen by anybody.
Goodness, I think being a humanitarian, in loving other human beings, I think that lifting others up, being positive, how do we make the world better? And how do we leave the world a better place than we found it? I think would be really a life well lived.
Am I daily adding value to myself so that when I get an opportunity, I have something to add? Too many people want to add value with yesterday's bread, and it's stale.
So one of my New Year's resolutions was, let me try to treat Julie with the kind of respect that I treated my father with. And I had to work on that and become self-aware of ways in which I was not communicating respect.
And my goal is like, yes, you can strive, you can want to succeed, and you can succeed, and you can achieve, and you can do it in a smart enough way that you're actually doing better there and still living your life well outside of work. So it's really about having both. It's not about one over the other. It's not about, don't work so hard, have a better life. It's about do better in both. And they're highly related.
So I'm actually, I don't know, the puppet master of my avatar. But if I allow myself to create distance emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, and remember who I am, that's right, which is not the avatar. Exactly. Remember that I'm in control of this avatar. Right. And then I'm not in the game of life, I'm actually stepping out, playing the game of life. Exactly.
Last round, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number 2, practice OQP, only quality people. You run around with 9 broke people, guarantee you'll become number 10. And 3, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
The reason that you have certain big ideas and dreams in your head is because God put them there for a reason. God wouldn't put these big ideas, these big dreams, these big notions in your head that keep you up at night because you're so excited about this vision of what your life can look like if you weren't meant to achieve them.
Whatever I'm worried about right now, I am a human being who apparently has consciousness on a blue rock in the middle of a universe that is massive, you know? Look, there are things that happen in our lives that are stressful, but we are little organisms on a rock in the middle of a massive universe, and I think we forget that. So just take a breath, get perspective, go into nature and realize it's gonna be okay.
But there is a point where the friend's love and the friend's intention of holding us up is actually holding us back. And there's a point at which we have to say to ourselves, I love you, but I have to leave you now. This support is holding me back.
You don't get instant gratification from being like, I think you're wrong, and I know the business better than you do, and really I need to go do this other thing, but that's gonna take me 6 months to prove you wrong. It takes a lot of conviction and a lot of discipline to be able to do that.
It's like I can come to my wife and say, hey, when you said that, like, I got pretty upset. Let's talk about, why that happened. I appreciate it if you didn't do that again. Versus like, appreciate it if you didn't do that again. Yeah. Versus like, you made me angry. You're such a blah, 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 right? It's like what's sub-communicated in that latter accusation is that my anger is your responsibility.
My big daydreaming goal when I was starting comedy was to headline Bridgestone. And so when I did it for the first time, I remember that night, I really was like, I remember it was that night, I was like, what am I supposed to do now? Because I just thought about that for 20 years. And then, which is crazy, it was 20 years, pretty much, I think exactly for me to get there, to headline Bridgestone.
And if they stepped over that paper, they wouldn't even, it's already done.
What does that mean?
That means if I gotta tell you to pick that paper up, you ain't on your A game.
Wow. Yeah, that's also a tricky one where you're like, I've seen you do this for 15 years, and it's the same. So they're like, I'm getting up all the time. You're like, you're not doing anything else though. Like you're not evolving, you're not changing, you're not trying things.
Yeah, I want to live my dreams and pass through the values to my kids that they need to have. And my family is always going to be the number one priority in everything I do. Because they followed my dream.
I need to rethink the idea of I need to protect my children by protecting my children. To I need to protect my children by protecting the middle class that makes the future for my children possible.
And I'm here to tell you, based on personal experience, that self-obsession is the enemy. The cure is service, in which you're making your life about something other than yourself. The more you can do that, I promise you, the more fulfilled you will feel, the more internally satisfied you will feel.
Every few days, if I check in with myself and I ask myself, I look in the mirror like, am I doing what I want to do if this was my last day? And if after 3 or 4 days, the answer isn't, this is what I should be doing, then I know I've got something to change. And I'm like,
but my God, if they get in the way and they play politics, they become the CEO's #1 enemy because they create problems that don't exist. And then you know what happens? There's noise. If there's noise, what do? You lose speed. So
I think the best advice anyone can give in that regard, is to figure out as quickly as possible what you're good at. That's the most important thing. What are you good at and what do you enjoy doing? And try to pursue that.
Because at that point, I had lost my record deal, my lawyer dropped me, my manager dropped me. But I was still technically signed to UMPG Publishing. And so I reached out to my point person there who I hadn't spoken to in years. And I said, help me figure out how to make a living in music. I got to figure this out. Because that's the only thing I really know how to do. And
bro, people think that I'm some sort of smart person. I'm a fucking idiot, okay? I'm just a guy who is smart enough to learn from his mistakes and tough enough to continue to fucking move down the pipe. That is it.
And then another person says, what did you say? Wait till my cousin shows up. 30 seconds later, cousin shows up. You're like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I don't want to say anything. I fought both types of people, okay? And the one that the cousin shows up, you always respect.
So now it's very clear to me that I think of seeds as purpose, love, joy, commitment, duty, responsibility, accountability. Those are all seeds. Weeds are ego, jealousy, anger, comparison, lust, illusion. These are all weeds. And we have the ability, just by pausing, to know which one we're watering and which one we're planting.
I'm talking about actually living moment to moment, putting your hands in your lap when you're on the train, looking out the window and saying, it's a tree. Being fully alive and saying, I'm fully alive right now.
I always thought about myself as being tough. So the fact that he was now questioning whether or not I was tough enough was a wake-up call that the real Carla Harris wasn't showing up anymore. Somewhere I had lost my confidence, somewhere I'd lost my voice, and now it was creating a competitive disadvantage for me.
I need something to kick me out. The chip on my shoulder from the kids that didn't believe me in school, the fact that I felt like I was mistreated or victimized or in some form there was something, some limitation placed on me. It's a pretty good fuel. That'll get you a long way.
Yeah.
But you do not want to be using that 2, 3, 4 decades down the line.
You are not falling behind. You're exactly where you are. And the most radical thing you can do in a culture that keeps trying to convince you otherwise is to stop running. Look around and notice that the ground was always solid.
I'm not saying you're going to do it with a smile. I'm not saying that you're not going to go home and cry. I'm not saying that you're not going to have a breakdown. But when you're done, you're going to get the fuck up and you're going to keep moving. If you can become that kind of person, dude, you can't beat that kind of person. You just can't do it.
Yeah, but in the back of my mind, I know that I'm performing. I know for a fact that probably not even my spouse has ever seen me. They can't like me. They can't love me because that's not me.
My dear friends, if you don't have a commitment to grow at Maxwell Leadership, you are not going to be comfortable here for long.
Yeah.
Because we expect it, we demand it, we compensate to it.
So I always say I'm addicted to the expansion of my being. And I feel like that's a healthy one. But I'm not addicted to only achieving it through my vocation.
Right.
I'm open to the ideas of a different way.
Life is for living. You're listening to me because you don't want to just survive. What it takes to live versus what it takes to survive are two different things. You're different. There are a lot of people who are there happy where they are. They have surrendered. It has become their new normal. But you, there's something in you that says this just can't be it.
I always say this, I'm in the ticket selling business. You're in the ticket selling business. We sell tickets. So it's you kind of take stuff out of, like, you know, the hands of Hollywood in a sense once you're in this ticket selling business. Like that's my relationship with the audience is you buy a ticket and you come see me.
I'm finna have a classic album, then my second album is gonna be this way. So I need everybody to see the vision. This ain't just one record. I know how that go. This is why I'm hot. This is why, you know, all those records came and went. No, this ain't that. This big boy heavyweight shit. And I made that clear. Cool.
But at that time, I had too many dreams in my head, and they still are here, and still a lot of things that I want to achieve. But this smile and this guy that came here in 2020 is still the same guy that wants to win and succeed at this club.
By welcoming that degree of heightened resistance into my life, I actually am setting myself up for a path of least resistance, because it is there where nobody else is that you're going to be able to do your thing unfettered, to grow, to evolve, to change, to fail, to learn, and to improve in a way that is setting you up to distinguish yourself.
I remember thinking to myself, this place is trying to make me someone that I'm not. Yeah. And I could spend 30 years here becoming someone that I'm not. I could become partner, could make money, whatever. And
if the answer is no, I'm not promising you're going to find it there, but I'm saying there is so much more for you to do before you can confidently have even a view, I think, on the nature of the self, the nature of death, because most of our philosophical convictions are so culturally embedded with it without us realizing it, that if you don't step outside of that for a moment, you might just be following a thread that you are not the author of. And so I'd recommend stepping outside of that. And
I feel like, you know, it was all my fault, basically. All the failures that I've had, I realized were my fault for being, you know, lazy or not putting in the effort and the grind. And yeah, so I wasted a lot of potential. I had so many huge opportunities when I was younger in the music industry, and then I kind of just was like, this is too much work.
And this is not another podcaster that says, oh, you know, you're enough. No, the fuck you aren't.
Not enough.
Okay, you could be, but you ain't right now. And that's what you got to realize. Okay? You are a raw fucking piece of granite that has not been chiseled out yet. And you need to get the fucking hammer in so that you can chisel out what the fuck you're trying to create. And then once that thing is sculpted, people appreciate it. Nobody appreciates a big block of granite when it's just sitting there.
It's important to know when something is clearly presented to you and it's easy to feel emotional about it, you are being manipulated. Something's clearly presented and it's just like, here's this one thing and it's really clean and it's easy to get pissed off about, or it's easy to feel comfortable about, or whatever it is. If the emotional thing is easy without having to dig into it, you're being manipulated.
And that's a giant percentage of what most people consume.